All right, should be good. This is Station. This is the second map that I attempted to work on. This actually has a functioning radar, and I wanted to focus a lot more on gameplay. First thing I notice is that I have this problem with spiral staircases and back and forth stairwells. To try and compensate for all the wacky vertical space I would put in my maps. There's this long area, which is a huge problem for several reasons. Oh. Cool. Yeah, I don't need to explain why. I got lots of stairwells in my maps. Here I wanted to do more of a focus on like an urban area. I think I was like where I'm currently living right now in sort of like just outside of downtown Calgary. I had a lot of inspiration of just sort of the areas in that space with like train stations and sort of parks. But I was also looking at lots of pictures of interesting buildings in Germany, which sort of inspired this approach to like really weird, obtuse, tall buildings. Here I've got this little like bridge thing. I definitely liked the idea of being able to see the enemy but not being able to shoot or like go to where they were. But I realized that just kind of invites some confusion or just some frustration in general. This map I always find kind of confusing in the way that I made it really labyrinthian. Like there's this inner panel thing and this exits out here, but so you can kind of go like in a Benny Hill circle if you wanted to. You got this computer room. You know, I'm trying to find ways to give my rooms character, and props were a really easy way for me to add that. Oh, I didn't even know this was a plant spot. I've got railings and more stairwells of back and forth, turning your camera a lot. Here I had sort of a more open area, but with a serious problem that there's just one entrance, and this one entrance is not very good. But I realized pretty soon after that this was a problem. I felt like I could make something work with this. You know, I wanted to be able to be like, you have a bomb site to play on, and then an area to fall back to in case the battle gets too intense, and you can sort of hide out here or maybe do something else. But I don't know, I planned this out on paper, but I definitely could see how there were issues cropping up in a lot of different ways. But that didn't stop me from trying to iterate on it. So what I did instead, so my next iteration on this idea was Station A2. This added some textures, but it also added a few necessary routes and changes. I think you can still see, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, now I got it. Yeah, okay. So now I'm starting to get more of a sense of like, how do I fit the existing div colors into something that looks interesting? So I started to try to find like brightly colored walls and floors and surfaces. I really liked, because I had a lot of inspiration of these pictures of buildings in Germany and such, but I was also sort of channeling like Half-Life 2 and Train. Damn, I really like how this looks. But then there's just some weird gameplay going on, right? Like, we got this over here, where you can like shoot at people's feet, but it's a one-way drop, and you can kind of chill out here, and but there's like a little bit too much at once, but you can like smoke off this area and kind of half block it. I don't know, lots of very confusing decisions where I felt like I could post justify why I did something, but I never had like a plan in the first place. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I would go on to experiment with all that stuff, but I could tell that fundamentally there was a lot of issues with this layout that I had chosen, just because it was so long and prone to bad sightlines. Yeah. And that is the new entrance to the site. There's now something thematically appropriate. See, like, I'm in this weird position of constantly trying to change the layout of my map to make it stronger for gameplay, but I keep adding extra details. Like, I couldn't help myself. Like, I really wanted to contextualize all of this and get to the fun part. Like, even this, I think, like, I have this as a screenshot or something, and to me, like, I'm happy with how this looks. This looks a lot like the reference images that I was using with, like, overlapping sort of diagonal geometry, or just like these little overpass walkways and such, and out of reach doors, overlooking windows, but it all feels just, you look at it a little too long and it feels consistently difficult to tell what is even going on. But I certainly had a lot of fun dressing up these scenes. Like, this to me was The Sims. Oh, I even added like sprites and stuff for this, to try to make it like blinding if you put somebody. I don't know. Oh, crap, I missed my chance. Can I say like, hey, need back up here? You're gonna go the long way around? You are gonna go the long way around. Can you do that again? Nope. You're gonna go the long way around. But anyway, little details, like I wanted to have a sprite of like a floodlight blinding through this cool fence and everything, so that you could have interesting encounters with people through the stairwell. I really like stairs, and I really liked trying to fight on stairs, but I would come to realize like fighting on stairs is just not fun. Like, people really don't like fighting on stairs. They like long corridors that work out, and stairs should be minimized wherever possible. We got this going on. I'm interested by this door frame that I chose. The computer room now looks like more contextually appropriate, with like servers, and maybe I made one toppled over as like makeshift cover, so you can do something with that. I kept these windows here because I like the idea of bangable stuff, but I've never had that many positive experiences with like bangable walls before. I've never really been like I've never been like a CS 1.6 player. But yeah, all sorts of context and situational stuff to make it look better, but the gameplay still feels like it's kind of sitting in the back seat.
We're going to do this.
That was unexpected. Okay, bot still kicked. So I also had this going on. I really like the idea of overlooking sniper spots, and so with this I wanted to make something temporary that creates a sniper spot, but at the same time, like, there's nothing to fight over here. This is like the fallback area, so it was sort of like if they overpushed, but there's just a lot going on with like how you would even be able to get in here. There's still only one entrance that just changed where it was. It fixed a few sightline issues, but still. You know, maybe I could have made a connector between like middle and around to this back area, but yeah. Lots of interesting ideas that I didn't get to see out completely, but I'm kind of surprised I was trying to think this far ahead, of all things considered. Adding in little hidey holes and places to check if you're doing a site. Something like I'm defusing. I overused this prop in many more maps to come. Just it's too handy to break up a floor or to add like something you can get on top of without adding in a full staircase. I think I used this prop once here in this map, and then I realized that it was just a lazy excuse for a staircase when really none of this needed to be here. It's just a bunch of junk that's covering up the area.